Welcome. Welcome to Finding Our Way Home. I'm Richard Ravenbrook, author, life coach, and spiritual mentor. Author to books like The Ravenbrook Tradition, The Christian Witch, The Deconstruction of Religion, The Magical Pagan Path, The Dawn of Unity, and Unmasking the Lies of Traditional Christianity. Be with us as Spirit speaks directly through this mic. Be with us as we learn, as Spirit gives guidance. Be with us as we work to find our way home. Merry meet, welcome. Welcome back to another episode of Finding Our Way Home. I am Richard Ravenbrook. I know it's been a while since I made a podcast. I've been working on the books and things and exploring options that kind of help get the message out a little bit better. But I thank everybody that has tuned into this podcast. And I'm going to keep going, keep creating. I want to get some guests on the podcast, if I can spit that out. But Spirit's really laid on my heart today. You know, I know some of the things that are going on in politics. And I know a lot of people just don't like to talk about politics, okay? But right now we have some serious things going on in our country. And they're not all good. We got a lot of people thinking they're doing a lot of good things, when in actuality they are doing horrific things. You know, and the people that listen to my podcast and read my books and things of that nature, they know that I stand for equality. They know that I stand for women to have free choice and for equality for LGBTQ and, you know, things of just equality and justice for everybody. Though I may be a straight married man, I still can support everyone else's choice in this life. I don't have to understand it. Sometimes I don't even have to agree with it. But I support and uplift you being able to choose for yourself as you wish to live. And I honor that. And that's it. But for some reason, we've got folks in this country that feel that they have to play God. That they have to play the role of the enforcer. That they have to enforce a certain way of living because their God says so. But their God can't seem to do it on their own without them doing it. You know, and I don't mean to sound blasphemous to what many in the Christian church would say, because that's not what I'm doing here. You know, people know that I'm a deconstructed minister with a pagan heart and an communist mindset, that I know that truth is not just found in one place. But I still have respect for all religions. I still have dignity and a positive mannerism towards all religions that are positive and that help bring forth a balance. But sometimes it really gets difficult when you see people that profess to hold a label and then honestly have no clue of what that label even pertains. They have no idea what it is. We got people out there right now screaming that they're devout Christians, but yet are ridiculing and belittling a bishop that simply asked President Trump to have mercy. She even did this so in her own church. In church, people. The very thing that the one that they call Jesus would have done himself. If you have an issue with a person of God asking for mercy, then you have no idea what God is in the first place. Asking for mercy is not asking for things not to take place at all. She wasn't asking for Trump to not do anything that pertained to his plans. What she asked was, if you're going to do this, do so with mercy. Let them have dignity. Do so with wisdom and understanding. Because President Trump wants to claim that God put him there. Well, those of us know anything about the God that he says put him there, it's not fitting. And I'm not going to go into a whole line of preaching and things of that nature, but he says the Christian God put him where he is. If that's true, he will bear the fruits of the Spirit. He will bear the fruit of love, wisdom, compassion, kindness, mercy. These are the things that make a person identify with Christ consciousness, and that they are one with the divine. I don't see that. I don't see that in the church. I see more of God in pagans. I see more of the divine in those that label themselves witches, label themselves as druids or Norse pagans or whatever else. I see more divinity within these people than I've seen in all the churches in my life. Because all I see within the church is a bunch of authoritarians trying to exert authority that they do not have. They want to bring about just this book, the 66 books that are found in the King James Version of the Bible, or whatever version that they particularly are going to use. The fact that we have multiple versions of the Bible should say right there that, there must be an issue with truth when you have so many versions of the Bible. But do you know that the Bible has had over 30,000 alterations? That words have changed, things have been put in, and things have been taken out? But when you address those issues to a Christian, they automatically deflect and go somewhere else. I want to talk about something different. Because I'm not saying that there is not truth in the Bible. There is a lot of truth within the Bible, within those 66 books. But if anybody's really listening to my podcast, they know that I tell them to don't limit yourself with that. Because you're only going to find about 5 to 8% of the truth within those books. Because that's all they want you to know. You have to seek in order to find. You have to look. You have to venture out. You have to trust within yourself. You have to trust within that voice that is within you to do more than just sit in a pew and tell people what to do. Right now we've got, and I understand. I understand the debate on immigration. I agree that we need a good, secure border with real immigration policies. But I also agree that to become a U.S. citizen today for many immigrants is way beyond understanding. That I know that many of us that have lived here our whole life couldn't pass a citizenship test. That we need to make some changes. We've got people, we've had children and babies that were born here. That the Trump administration trying to say that they have no right to be here. When the 14th Amendment clearly says that anyone born on U.S. soil is a citizen of this country. They're even trying to say that Native Americans may not be real Americans. And people, we've got to stand against this. I believed in President Trump for a long time. I did. In some ways, I still believe that somewhere in that heart of his, he's going to make changes. But he is surrounded by people right now that are empowering him. The people that open the door to where he is, and these are not good people. They are powerful, wicked people in bad places. And they are not here to help American citizens, but they're here to enslave you. They're here to make the rich richer and the poor poorer, to create an environment where you are forced to work even harder than you are. You know, the American dream says that if you work hard, don't work hard, work smart. I don't know if anybody's told you this, but you'll never have the American dream working for someone else. You've got to find something within yourself. You've got to rise up and be the person that you know you are. Yes, we have to work for somebody sometimes in order to build the bricks that get us to where we need to go. But believe in yourself. Right now, we've got some really bad things going on. And like I said, I don't want to get really political in this, but Spirit has told me, sat me down and said, no, you need to talk about this, Richard. That this is very important. That even a lot of people that believed in President Trump are going to have an eye-awakening epiphany to understand that what we believed was going to happen is not going to happen, but in fact the opposite. I tried to tell people about Project 2025. Many people ridiculed me, laughed at me, said that was just a joke, that was never going to happen. But yet we've seen 80% of it already taking place in the first week after the inauguration. We hear so many. There's a bill in Mississippi right now, Bill 1484, that talks about permanent imprisonment for illegal aliens. Basically, an enslavement policy with no parole. You realize what that means? It means if you're an illegal alien in Mississippi, they can arrest you and put you to work for the state for the rest of your life, and there's nothing you can do about it. These things are crazy. Abortion, anti-abortion laws that say even if a woman is raped, or if a child is raped, that they have to go through this whole legal process and prove that they were raped before they can ever get anything to end the pregnancy. Even if it means their life. Where have we come as a nation when people no longer have a choice? When women don't have a choice? You know, we have come so far in the last 100 to 200 years. We've made many strides. We had common sense. We ended slavery. We gave equality for the most part to women. There's still a lot out there that, I have nothing. We need masculinity. We need femininity. If I could spit that out. But equality. That's why I like the Norse pagans. Norse pagans were equal to their women, and their women were equal to their men. They even fought in battles, stood side by side with their men. And for some reason, Christianity wants to lower what women can be. They want to keep them as servants. And it grieves the spirit to know that we have somebody in office or people around him that would want to fall back so many years, so many strides towards understanding that we're all linked together in this world, that we're all one. And just because we're a different sex, or even if you identify as something entirely different, that doesn't have to affect me or my life or my family, that you can be or do whatever it is you choose to be and do, and I can too. But for some reason, we live in a free country that's not free. Because if any religion tries to enforce a certain path, then they're also denying someone else of their path. Because freedom means that everyone is free to choose whatever path is within them, whatever path calls to them. People will say that, well, the United States is the greatest nation in the world because of freedom. But we realize that a majority of the countries around the world, they all have freedom too. In fact, a lot of them have more freedom than we do. They have free health care. They have just the ignorance of many people because they don't want to teach it. They don't teach it in the schools. They want to brainwash people to believe that we are the best. But when we get to really thinking about it, looking into it, we're almost the bottom of the education scale. We are high in murder rates and divorce rates and everybody wants to, well, all the Christians anyway, want to focus back and be able to, because we fell away from God. No, that's not the reasoning. We had a time when the church ruled everything. It was called the Dark Ages. A time when women were burnt alive and people were slain in the streets because of a man or a church saying it was God's will that these people be destroyed. And sadly, it seems like we're going back to that we just keep falling back to the same hypocritical, violent. Have you read the Bible? Have you seen the violence throughout the Bible? The only thing not violent within the Bible was the man that they called Jesus. Everything else in the Bible was violent. Today's church are followers of Paul, not Yeshua. They don't have a clue of who Yeshua is. Because the book only shows 3 years of his life. He lived 33 years. How do you serve someone and worship someone? How do you call someone Lord when you have no idea how they lived, where they went, what they believed? Well, we know he went to the temples and he studied the Torah and stuff like that, for a while. Well, yeah, because that's where he was raised. But he wasn't. The Torah is from Jewish religion. And Christianity kind of stole that part and kind of implemented it in with a few books that they have in order to try to make it all sound legit. Because Christianity has stolen so many of fundamental truths from so many different religions. A lot of pagan rituals and pagan traditions were put into Christianity. All different types of religions is what made Christianity, because they only knew 3 years of his life. But we have evidence all over the place of all 33 years. But most people have no courage to venture out and to read and to know and to study. They have no belief in themselves or belief and security within themselves that Spirit will lead them into truth if they are seeking truth. That in fact, when my heart is true and I am seeking that which is true, Spirit will lead me to such truth. Do you believe that? Today I want everybody to just stop and look around. Stop and look around, look at what is happening in our politics, in our schools, in our churches. A bishop merely asked for mercy and is being defamed all over the country by Christians. But we understand Yeshua was not put on the cross by those outside of the church. He was put there by people in the church. So when these people come against her and everyone else that tries to cry for mercy or cry for an intervention or a different plan, the church comes against them, just like they did him. And we know the truth because we can see it by the fruits. I don't see the fruits. I've seen the fruits in her. I've seen the fruits of compassion and mercy and kindness, but not in the others. And I understand when you're talking about things of a country, that there's things that sometimes you have to do to be firm and to create security and safety. I understand that. But asking for mercy doesn't deter that. You can do everything that you need to do and still do it mercifully. But people, especially when they're screaming that we need to put God back in society, we need to put God back in school and everything else, but yet when God speaks at the pulpit, they deny it, ridicule it, and attack it. Today, understand that what you see happening in politics is not God. It is not divine. It is the opposite. And unless we stand, there will be many things destroyed. Freedom for many people will be ripped away. Their security will be gone. The security of children, the health and well-being of families, these things will be horrifically changed, and our country will never look the same. When I say stand and rise, when I say stand against these tides of oppression, do so. Stand in every way that you can. The best way to defeat the system is not to participate in the system. That's step one. I've never been one to call for violence. I don't particularly like violence, but I understand that there is a time when men and women must stand up for their children, that we must stand up for our elderly when they can't stand for themselves, that we must stand for the people that are weak or that are low in number, the people that are oppressed and attacked. We don't have to agree with everything they do, but we can stand as a wall around them. We can lift them up and say, I don't care that they're different. They are my brother. They are my sister. They are, as me, a part of this world. And if they do things in this life that are wrong, then let that judgment be between them and the divine. Not me. Not you. Let us just live with compassion and love for each other and leave the judgments for a later time, for the things that we don't even know that come. Because we can make all the insinuations and guesses and theories and theological, but we honestly, we don't know what comes. We all have different beliefs. We know there's something else beyond this. Most of us believe that, and so do I. But I think what matters the most in this life is how we lived it. Did you show compassion? Did you show kindness? Did you live a life that was full of love for people? I'm not saying did you make, we all make mistakes. We all screw up sometimes. We all bottom out, and sometimes we're a total failure at what we did. But throughout your life as a whole, did you try your best to be the best person that you could be? Did you feel sorrow for the pains that you caused? Do you remember the joy that you brought to others? Did you show love every chance that you could? Mercy when you could? These are the things that I believe take us into the next step, into that invisible veil. Will we go back to where we come? Take some time. Consider these things. Whatever particular religion that you are. And I know some of us have a built-in rage, have an anger, and we just want to quench that for just a short time. Your day may rise soon, but for now, let us seek a peaceful way. Let us seek a way of handling these situations without raising the sword. Let us manifest this change. Let us focus that manifestation around our tent, all of us together. Let us see a world that is joined together, a country that is joined together, united in a common interest. That common interest just being freedom, love and compassion, exploration. No more you have to live this way or that way, but may you live the way you choose to live. That in the land of the free, the land of the brave, may you be brave, and may you be free. Be blessed, everybody, and blessed be.